In this behind the scenes video, we're going to show you how we lit and shot this creative engagement photograph. What's up everybody, my name is Pi, Editor-in-Chief for srlounge.com. Welcome to another SR Lounge original behind the scenes video. With all of our photography, we love to incorporate our clients' personalities and hobbies into their engagement portraits, as it creates kind of a far more personalized and authentic product. So when this particular couple told us that they loved to track and race their cars, we jumped at the chance to incorporate that into their photos. For their engagement session, we did a two-part session. The first part of their engagement session was really more of a traditional set featuring them goofing around and having fun throughout Laguna Beach. For the second part of their shoot, we brought them back to the studio where we busted out their racing gear and we started with some fun studio shots. At the end of the studio session, we had about 15 minutes before I had to run to the airport, and we still didn't have a shot of them in their cars. And both of them actually own awesome cars for which they frequently track. And the one in the photo that we're using is actually her car, and it's a 2006 Lotus Exige in Aspen White. Not bad, right? So given that we only had a few minutes to get our shots, we didn't have the time or the studio space available to set up for a traditional full strobe car shot using multiple lights and so forth. So instead, I had the idea to take them out into our parking lot and we'd basically do a semi-strobe / light painted setup. And here's what we did. Whenever we're light painting, you definitely need to set the camera up on a firm tripod and optimally use a method of triggering the shutter that isn't going to cause any sort of camera shake or movement, such as a wireless trigger or even a tethered trigger through the computer. However, once again, we were in a time crunch, so I actually just used the 2-second timer. This is something I'd actually recommend against because you can shift the camera or basically cause shake just when you're pushing the shutter. But it's kind of quick and it's something that we're used to doing, so we just went for it. Now I'm using the 5D Mark III with the new 2470 f2.8 Mark II lens mounted onto a Manfrotto tripod. For my angle, I'm choosing basically a top-down angle that really kind of exaggerates the features and the curve of the car. I found that when I was shooting at a lower angle, it really didn't show off enough of the car's body and kind of the overall shape. At this point, we exposed for the background, giving us around a 2-second exposure at f5.6 and ISO 100. And to give us a nice, even overall light on the car, we have an Einstein and a parabolic modifier placed on the catwalk above. So by exposing for the background and using the strobe to light the car, we get this first shot. Now remember, for the light from above, you can use a regular pocket strobe on an umbrella as well. We just had the Einstein already set up and ready to go because this is kind of our standard studio setup. Now when you look at this first shot, it isn't bad, but it isn't necessarily great either. It's kind of actually on the boring side because it's very flat. It doesn't do a good job of, say, showing off the car's shape since they're very minimal shadows and highlights, just because we only have that one light from above. But that's okay, we're gonna be using this first shot as primarily just a plate. So essentially it's just gonna be our background. We want this first shot to reveal our correct background to kind of show enough detail in the car, and basically we're gonna use that detail in the areas where we're not painting light. So from here on, we're going to be painting in our additional light to add more dimensionality and accents to the car's shape and curves. For our light painting, we'll be using the Lowell GL1, and now I'll admit that this light is a little bit of overkill for what we're actually doing. You could do this exact same thing with a much cheaper light, but I'll also be honest, the Lowell GL1, in its varying strength and zoom, it makes it extremely easy to paint light in a very accurate manner over the car. So with Justin very gently helping me out to trigger the camera, I'm moving around the car painting different features of the car in each shot. And finally we make a small adjustment to our overall exposure and we have the couple hop into the car with our female subject in the driver's seat since this is her Lotus. Now I place the GL1 at this point onto the dashboard, I lock in the setting and we fire to get our final image to place them into our composite. At this point, the rest of our magic is really done in post-production. So basically we take all the shots in raw format, we color grade them, and then we bring them into Photoshop where we composite in our different areas of highlights to really accentuate the car's overall shape. Now here you see the final image and overall the entire shoot. To take the first photograph all the way to the last photograph, it took us only 11 minutes. So it was a very quick and dirty setup. We got great results out of it. The client was absolutely amazed by the results. And while the shot isn't perfect, I'm really happy with the way that it turned out given the overall time and kind of location and lighting constraints that we had. For more information, including all of the links to each of the products that we used in this shoot, just click below in the description on the link. It'll take you right over to srlounge.com where you can see the full article. Hope you all enjoyed. My name is Pi and I'll see you all in the next video.